Okay, so the first card you have your past is the King of Cups. Yeah, this feels really, really isolating. It feels very isolating to me. It actually feels like a good kind of isolation, if that makes sense. Because I'm seeing a lot of drama, and I think there might have been a bit of drama going on around you. And I think usually, not that you jump into drama, you don't do that, but I think, if you have something to say, you say. If something's bothering you, you're going to say. And but I think at this time you had all this drama around you, or people were saying things, or there was something going on. And I think you're just sitting there by yourself and thinking, well, what's the point? What's the point in this? I'm sitting here, I've been here before, I've been involved in this before. I'm just going to sit by myself. I'm not going to have anything to do with any of this drama. And I think also you just needed to conserve your energy as well, because I know this probably sounds bad, but I think whoever was caught up in all this drama, I'm seeing a few people, actually there are three people around this, three key people. And they weren't thinking about you. They weren't thinking about you, they were thinking about themselves. So I think you probably thought, well, yeah, these people aren't thinking about me. They want me to get involved. And so, if they're going to just worry about themselves, I'm going to worry about me, and I'm not going to get involved. That's what I'm seeing. So, so it's not like, because this king's very, very, he's the opposite of passionate, and you're passion. So, he sits there very passively, he doesn't say anything, he doesn't do anything. He's got all this emotion around him. And you haven't lost your passion, you absolutely haven't. If you feel passionate about something, you say. But I think with this situation, you just weren't putting any more into this. It was like, no, I've been here before, done this before, I've put my oar in this before, I've said something here before, and no one appreciated it. So I'm just going to keep out of this. Enough. I've got to concentrate on myself. I've had enough of this. With this red ship, I'm just looking at that, sailing away from this king. So, the passion hasn't gone from you, but it's gone out of the situation with these people. You have no more passion to even bother with any of these people. So, okay, so I'm seeing a little thing here. I don't know if this is going to resonate with everyone, but I'm just going to say if I see things, no matter how strange they are. And this is quite strange. I think one of these people might have hidden behind your passion. I hope that makes sense. I know that sounds really strange. What I mean by that is, I think someone knew that, you're the kind of person who speaks out. And so maybe they were using you as a kind of a mouthpiece without you realizing. So it's like they'd say little things to you and you'd go and say them, or you'd speak out, you'd feel all passionate or angry or happy or whatever, you'd feel passionate about whatever, and you'd say, and then they'd get away with being the person who didn't say anything. That's what I'm seeing. Very, very cowardly. I'm actually seeing, this is so weird, you're going to think I'm so strange, but I'm seeing this wind up toy here. So it's like they try and wind you up with this information. Oh, I'm so upset, this person did this person did that, and they'd wind you all up, and then they'd watch you go. And you'd say something or do whatever, and then they could hide behind you. So I hope that hasn't happened. It's just this little thing I was seeing that might be happening. You might not have realized that. But if you have, you're definitely wising up to all this thing. And, I just think, apart from that little thing of someone winding you up, the other is absolutely clear to me that it's quite, probably happening. And I think, you're just like, okay, if people want to be in this drama, if they want to start to cause things or whatever, I'm just going to leave it to them. I'm just going to leave it to them. Because why do I have to use up all my energy on other people's things? Are they going to use that energy on me? No, they're not. So I'm not going to bother with them. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting around that card. So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so the next card you have, your Past the World. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic card. I love this. So, okay, so here's the situation. I've seen this before in your readings, actually. It comes up again and again. So obviously this hasn't come up yet. It is going to, because the world can be about coming full circle, traveling around the globe and kind of coming all the way back to the start again. Not literally, metaphorically. You might have traveled around the globe, but I'm seeing this kind of as a metaphor. So, And there's a great big laurel wreath here as well in this card, which is about victory. And it's a big, massive one. So it's a huge victory here. Now, there's something you really, really wanted at one time. I'm seeing a double thing. So I'm seeing you thought you had something, it went away, and something similar is coming up again. So I think this thing happened in the past. It was some kind of opportunity. And you ended up saying no to whatever this was in the end. There was a lot of thinking about this. You thought very carefully about this. You said no. And I think when you said no, even though it was the right thing for you to do, to say no, to me it feels like a big loss. It feels like a big, big loss. I'm actually getting a really horrible feeling around this. It's almost like a punch in the stomach. I've never been punched in the stomach, but I know that sounds a bit extreme, but it feels like a horrible feeling in my stomach. And so that's just how that feels to me. I know it's extreme, but I think this really kind of dented your ego and your sense of self as well. Even though you were the one who was in control, even though you said no, the whole thing was just really like horrible. It was like, oh no, I'm kind of like, I failed, and you haven't failed, you haven't, but it's a feeling. It's not logical, it's a feeling. Because I'm getting this kind of, I'm heading down this path, and that's what you thought. I'm heading down this path, I know where I'm going, and then this thing happened and it ended up being a disaster, and you end up saying no to this, and it really shook your sense of direction up. And yeah, you were thinking about this a lot. Your train of thought was on this, and then you had to try and get it out of your mind, which was difficult as well. So with the wild card, there is a new opportunity coming up for you. It's on the way to you. Now, it's similar in some ways to this old thing. Now, when I say that, you'll probably go, oh, you'll have that horrible feeling, and you'll be like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to that thing. I can see that. That's your instinct. But this is very different in a lot of ways, and it's a lot better in a lot of ways. Now, I don't know if this is going to make any sense to you. There's also a place that's attached to this. So there's some kind of moving, there's some kind of traveling. It's actually a way, way better thing than the last thing. Look at this victory here in this card with this wreath. And also, I think with the old opportunity, if you had said yes to that, you would have been locked in. It's this really locked in, really claustrophobic feeling around that. But with this new thing, there's a lot of freedom here. Look at this woman in this card. Total freedom. She's flying around freely. Now, it absolutely looks so positive for you. Very, very positive. Now, you're going to be in two minds, because I think of all the feelings, the emotions you have around the old thing. But it's absolutely coming to you, and it keeps on coming up again and again. I know these are sounding quite repetitive. I hate that they are, but if I keep on seeing the same thing again, that's what's there, and I have to say, so that's what I'm seeing. But it's a good thing that I'm seeing again and again. It's a good opportunity for you. Okay, so the last card you have, you pass the King of Swords. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I hope this is going to make sense. I'll try and explain this. I think for you to be able to make, okay, if you're going to say yes to this thing, if this is something that you want to do or that you can do, for you to be able to do this, okay, I'm trying to explain this. I think you're going to have to let go of some old emotions around this, because you have a lot of old emotions around the old thing. The new thing is going to bring up the old emotions. I'm just getting this feeling of, okay, that's all in the past, it's all behind me. You put this old situation behind you, and you didn't fail at anything, but I think there are some feelings of failure around this for you. So it really dented your confidence, your sense of self, and I think you're like, oh, that feels like failure. I'm going to put it away, lock it all away in the box, put it away, never think about it ever again, close the lid, try and forget about this. And now with this new thing coming along, it's going to start to remind you of that. It's going to open that all up again for you. So I just think you're going to have to try to put these old emotions to one side and just look at this whole thing very, very objectively. Because if you let the old situation cloud the new one, you're going to miss out on a really, really good thing, a really good opportunity. This is a big thing. This is really big and important. And this King's all about weighing up facts. He's all about the facts. He's not about the emotion. He's high up on a hill. So I think you'll just have to look back on everything. Get up on your hill, look back over everything, and just see everything objectively, not emotionally. I hope that makes sense, because I'd really hate for you to miss out on this thing. It looks really good for you. And it's a sort of thing, what I'm seeing is people are going to look at you and say, how did you do that? How are you doing that? How are you doing that? That's what I'm seeing. How are they doing that? How are they able to do that? That's what I'm seeing. So it's a fantastic thing, fantastic opportunity. And I don't want you to miss out on this because of some old emotions that you'd locked away. So have a think about all of that. Okay, so the first card you have, your presence, the Seven of Swords. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this is interesting actually. I'm actually seeing family here. So yeah, there's a lot of closeness here. It feels like you're really, really close to someone, someone in your family, definitely. It feels like you're united, and you're united because of a lot of things you've been through together. A lot of things have happened to both of you. And I think you've just stayed really, really strong, really united. I keep on seeing this unity, because I'm just looking at these two swords that this horrible man's left behind, and they're together, they're side by side, and they're stuck in the ground, in the earth. So you're both stable, you're both strong, as long as you have each other, with the two of you there together. Yeah, I'm actually seeing abandonment here, with this man getting up and walking away. He's taking all the swords, and you're the two that are left. So yeah, someone was leaving, or someone left you. And I think you're both just left there to pick up the pieces after this horrible thing happened. But the really positive thing here is your unity. You have that. No one's ever going to take that away from you. And I think sometimes people don't realise how strong you actually are together as a unit. And I think people have tried to come between you. You know, they've tried to talk about one to the other, go behind your back. There's a lot of backstabbing in this card with all these swords. But you know, it never works. It never works. People cannot play one against the other, because you can't be played against the other. You're united. You're together. So if this is resonating, absolutely cherish this person. You know, see as much of them as you can. And yeah, there's something else here as well. Okay, sorry about that siren. Really, really bothers me when things like that happen. Really messes with me. I hate it. Okay, so, okay, go away. All right, so, yes, this is what I'm seeing here as well. There's an ex here. There's a love connection. I don't know if it's your ex. I don't know if this other person's ex that's in your family, whoever this is, who you're close to, yours or theirs. There's an ex that tried to come between you at one time. I'm seeing a lot of words here. Swords represent words to me. You know, if you take away the S in sword, you have words. So there are a lot of words, a lot of backstabbing, things going on after this breakup or whatever this is. One of you went through this breakup and there was a lot of talk behind your backs. But again, it didn't separate you. It probably made you even closer. So yeah, cherish this person if this resonates with you. And you know what it feels like? This is what it feels like. Relationships come and go. They come and go from this. But this person always stays with you. They always remain in your life. You're both solid. You're standing there together like these two swords. So no matter what kind of shady characters come into your life, and there have been a lot, you're together. That's what I'm getting in that card. Very, very nice. I know it's a horrible card, but yes. Okay, so the next card you have, your presence, judgment. Okay, again, this card's about huge life changes. Okay, so I think before this happens, before this big opportunity comes along, and it's really going to change things for you, I think your life's going to feel a little bit, not samey, if that's a word, but okay, I'll try and explain this. You'll be going along day after day and doing your normal work, and you know, little changes are going to be happening, but you're probably not going to be noticing those changes. And okay, so there's this thing, this opportunity, and it's just going to hit you. It's going to be like this big trumpet in this card. It's just going to sound, and you'll have to take notice. You'll be like these people in this card, jumping up with their arms up, oh wow, I have to take notice. This is so loud. I can't ignore this. And that's what's going to happen. So I think, so if you're in this stage where your life just feels like, it's going along, no huge problems, everything's fine, you're probably in this phase that happens before this big thing suddenly comes to you. So this is telling me that this is nearer, it's coming closer to you. Yeah, I keep on getting this deja vu here. And yeah, I've seen this all before, this thing, and I think I might be getting this, yeah, all these cards about this thing that's coming up, they're repeating again and again and again. And I think this, especially this one, it's about making sure you're prepared, for this, because this card's kind of based on Judgment Day. So it's about not being prepared for this huge change. So I think this is about reminding you to be prepared for this thing when it comes. Because, if you think about the last opportunity that you said no to, then there are a whole lot of things that I think you might have regretted around that. Maybe you said the wrong thing, you said no, maybe something happened, I don't know. But have a think about all the things you might change or that you want to change around that, and use them in this new thing. Use them for positivity. Use them for this new thing. So, and I know you don't want to think about that again, but again, I keep on seeing this here, that you're going to have to think about that so that you can get to this new thing. I hope that makes sense to someone. I know that was a little bit confusing. I was trying to explain that. I had the siren as well, but it just feels, what this feels like to me? It feels like a second chance. It feels like you had the first chance with the first thing and it wasn't right. And here comes the second chance, and this is right. This is absolutely right for you. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, so take this when it comes. Take this when it comes. Okay, so the last card you have in your presence, the Four of Swords. Again, look at this. You're going along, not doing much. This man's not doing anything actually. He's just lying there. And when he wakes up, when he opens his eyes, there's this beautiful stained glass window. So here's the opportunity. It's this beautiful window. It's up in front of you. And, you're going to have to look back on the last thing, contemplate all of that. And it's probably going to hurt you a bit because you put your emotions away when you put this old situation away. But you're going to have to go through some of that hurt to get to this new thing. You're going to have to remember the old things, learn from the old things to get to the new thing. Because I'm just looking at this man, and he has his eyes closed, he's lying down, and he has to sit up to be able to see this window, to be able to see this opportunity. But there are all these swords above him. There's a lot of hurt there. So it's important to get over that hurt before you get to this new thing and work through the heart. So that's what I'm seeing again in this card. It's a very beautiful opportunity, because if you look at this window, it's the only colourful thing in this card. So it's an absolutely beautiful thing. The other thing is, if you're in a relationship, when you do go through all of this, revisiting these old emotions, you might start to feel a little bit frustrated with your partner. Now, I don't think there's a great big problem here. I'm not seeing any big problems in this relationship, but I think it might not be very easy for them to understand. It's a very unique problem to have, because I'm seeing some conversations starting, then they're ending, a bit of frustration around this, and this is a solid connection. It really is. So don't worry about that. I just think you might have to work through this by yourself. Because this man's all by himself, so it might be something you have to work through by yourself, or maybe find someone else who understands this. But this is a very lonely card, so I think this is telling you to be by yourself and work through this by yourself, because I think they're just very different from you. And I think talking about this, especially if it's frustrating you, especially when you have a conversation with someone and they don't understand and it frustrates you, it's just putting a strain on your relationship. So keep that subject matter out of this relationship. So yeah, that's just something to think about if this all resonates with you. I'm getting a little bit slurry on my words, a little bit tongue-tied, so I'm struggling a little bit in this reading. So hopefully this is making some kind of sense to you. happens to me sometimes in readings. I start to struggle a little bit. Okay, so the first card you have for your future is the Sun. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, this feels like something completely different again. This feels like freedom, total freedom. Now, you have the World card here as well, which is another freedom card. So, okay, so there are a lot of things coming in here, and they're going to bring you this amazing freedom. So the first thing I'm seeing is it feels like, you know, I think there might be a lot of letting go here, letting go of things. I think you're actually going to get a lot of things off your chest, actually. And yeah, there are things you want to say. There are some things you want to say to certain people. You've been holding on to all of that, holding a lot of things in. And I'm seeing that in the King of Cups, actually. You're holding all these things in, not wanting to say anything. You had all this drama around you and you're just sitting there not saying anything. So you're just going to come to this time, I think, where you'll just say, right, it's time. I have to say this to these people. It has to come out. And yeah, you're probably going to lose some people, I think. But, you know, the right people are going to stay. The right people are going to stay. You know what I'm seeing? Have a look at this wall behind this horse and this child. This big wall. What it feels like is it's like a big dam wall, and all the water's building up behind this, and it has to break, and you have to let it all out. And that's what you're going to do. The dam's going to build up and up and up. You're going to let it all flow out, everything flow out of you, and then you're going to feel a lot freer, like this child on this horse. Beautiful. You're going to feel a lot better, like you've gotten rid of a whole lot of old stuff. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. It has to burst. It has to burst. And, you know, if you're single, I think, you know, you are going to repel some people, actually, because you're just going to let this all out. But I think you might actually attract someone who, yeah, I think they're going to see, yeah, they might actually see you in a new way. They might like this about you, I think.